Man Hour Nation, are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet?
I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that while I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the court. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, everybody? Michael Buckasher here with the Man Hour. If you guys would be most inclined tonight, head over to youtube.com/Man Hour and hit that subscribe button. We are live over there on youtube.com every Monday through Thursday, and we upload clips from the show throughout the day as well. And then there's a new thing on there called Shorts, a little minute clips of each one of us guys throughout the day, just talking a little bit of sports. Of course, we got the website, manhourradio.com. Pick yourselves up some merchandise and check out the blogs over there as well. Let's welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, the peanut butter to my jelly, the pickles to my ladies, Brandon Combs. What's up, man? Oh, you rookie, you muted yourself. Oh man! I gave you this silver platter.
I was all hyped up.
That.
I was about to give, Man Hour Nation its due. I was about to tell him to rise up, and then I was about to tell him that you look like you're wearing a popcorn bucket right now.
Hey,
you look just like this popcorn bucket.
So, funny story about this sweater. So, Cindy, I've obviously been a football fan like my whole life, but I never went to a football game until I met Cindy. For Christmas, our first year together, Cindy took me to the Kansas City Chiefs game at Arrowhead Stadium when they played the Denver Broncos, and she bought me this vintage, it's from like the 60s or 70s sweater, and I got so many compliments on the sweater throughout the day. Like, I was on cloud nine. Like, I thought it was the
look
ugliest
like
thing
you
in the
should
world.
be picking up trash on the side of the highway.
I should be,
like,
because
that looks like a prison outfit.
We should be, because look at this overlay that we have of the Wyatt Williams. I feel like one day something is going to come across the board and be like, hey, who did this? And we'll be wearing these suits, right? What's up, William?
What's up, guys? Hey, I told Combs pre-show, I was like, he mentioned the bucket, but I was like, what about the Where's Waldo? I get it, Where's Waldo isn't like exactly like that, but it is very close with the toboggan and everything. Right. I was thinking Where's Waldo is what I was going on.
Yeah, obviously you can find Where's Waldo in the Super Bowl, because the Chiefs have made it to the Super Bowl again. So I'm just throwing it out there, Where are the Packers?
So you want to go ahead and throw out that your team's in the Super Bowl again, just because you look like a KFC popcorn chicken bucket. You're gonna go and try and get back on Wyatt, which we can get on Wyatt all day long. I'm fine with this. Like I'll do this all day, but.
Jesus.
Guys. So Wyatt, did you have school today, or did you have a snow day?
No, so it's weird. So like with virtual school and stuff, like, we don't have school, right, but we do. Like, it's not the same snow day that I'm used to. Like, normally, and this was the best kind of snow day, too. As a kid, nothing was better than when the superintendent called the night before, because then it wasn't a school night. Then you could not have bedtime. Then you could play video games with your friends all night. That was the best.
We didn't have video games then, so we actually had to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and watch the little ticker across the AT&T TV and hope our school came across the bottom.
That's what we normally have too. But thankfully, our superintendent called last night, the night before, which we all kind of already knew, like, with the roads and stuff, how bad they were in this area. There is no way that we're gonna have works at the circus. Oh, I love it, man.
Thanks, Michelle. I make you feel loved.
But so we didn't have school, but at the same time, we still had to log in to our virtual stuff. I don't know. It's all weird and complicated.
So basically, long story short here, Combs, now that we have lived through the COVID pandemic and virtual learning and like all that stuff, there will never be another snow day ever in the history of the world, right?
No.
Let's be flat out honest. Like, there will never be a snow day again.
Look, there shouldn't be snow days anyway. I remember when I was in school, I used to have to walk uphill both ways, barefoot in the snow.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Combs. So I lived in the great state of Kansas, and there would be times when you would have all 4 seasons twice in one day. You would wake up and it'd be like 65 degrees. You get ready for school and it's snowing outside. And you're like, what the heck is going on? And they're like, oh, it's a 2-hour delay, and then it's like 80 degrees again. You're like, oh, sweet. I get to play outside for two hours, like hang out, and then it starts snowing again. You're like, what in the world is going on? Like, so
look, I spent 15 of the last 16 years up in Vermont, and let me tell you right now, there is no such things as 4 seasons in Vermont. You have winter, and then warm winter. Those are the 2 seasons in Vermont. It's either 6 feet of snow and 15 below, or it's like 65 and sunny and it still might snow.
No, man, I went to Vermont. Was it 3 years ago, something like that? We flew up into Maine.
Did the cleaning lady take you guys out there?
Oh my God!
Oh no,
we flew into Maine. The cleaning ladies flew us to Maine. Okay, they can do everything. So they flew us to Maine.
They get paid so much to clean your house.
Shut up. So we went to Maine, and we had like a 10-day trip where we like went through Boston and then went to New York finally. But we stopped in Vermont, and I am firmly convinced that the only thing in the state of Vermont is a highway, some moose, and Ben and Jerry's ice cream. I am firmly convinced of that.
Wrong. You're not wrong. And you know what? I'm telling you right now, my kids would love Saturdays because there's nothing else to do in Vermont. So we would go to the Ben and Jerry's factory, do a tour, and get some free ice cream after. Like
that. Oh my! It was so good.
Is that where Ben and Jerry's is?
Yeah,
like headquarters is.
And whenever you tour, they give you a free thing of ice cream. Oh man, there is nothing better.
You guys went a great tour. Wyatt, you aren't age of yet, but you guys need to go to St. Louis and like go to the Anheuser-Busch.
I've already toured that.
You know what's funny? That's what they did to us. And this is why I'm convinced that we grew up in a different time than kids now. Because my 8th grade class trip was to St. Louis, and we went on the Anheuser-Busch tour, and the teachers all were doing the taste testing and stuff while we were out. Yeah.
That is literally, okay, Combs, that is literally my 8th grade trip as well. My parents not really through school. My parents on 8th grade, it was spring break. My parents were like, let's go do something fun. And we were like, okay. So we're like, let's go somewhere. We were like, okay, where do you want to go? And then we were all like, okay, we've never really been to St. Louis, and that's close and it's a big city. They were like, let's go to St. Louis. So we went out there and they were like, we're going to go to this place called Anheuser-Busch. And I'm like, okay. So we show up and there's like these giant horses, and I'm like, oh, what is this? This is cool. So we're like looking at these. Let's talk about how great. Jesus, let me pull up this comment real quick. Let's talk about how great Case. Oh man, but so we show up and there's these giant horses there, right? The Clydesdales, right? So we're seeing. So these horses there, and we pet them and all that stuff. And then mom and dad are like, all right, now we're gonna go to the beer garden. And I'm like, oh, what's that? And as a little kid, like. Tours are fun if it's at places like Ben and Jerry's, if it's at places like Kokai, all those little museums and cool stuff, like City Museum. That's what I'm looking for here. No, this was not fun. Mom and Dad sat there and tasted beer for like 3 hours while me and my brother sat there and stared at a wall. Oh, it was terrible.
See, that was fun for them though.
Oh, they had a great time.
It's not always about you, Wyatt. It's not always about the kids. Like, I don't know. Like, man, I don't know what it is about kids today, but they are not the same. Like, when I grew up, if we went on vacation with my parents, we went to where my parents wanted to go. We didn't say, hey, never came to us and say, hey, where do you guys want to go for a vacation? What do you guys want to do? They're like, hey, get in the car. We're going to Tennessee. Or we're going to, and I'm like, why are we going to Tennessee? What's in Tennessee? Your aunt and uncle are in Tennessee. What aunt and uncle? The aunt and uncle you don't know about. We're going to Tennessee to visit them. So,
I didn't even get vacation. Like, I think like back when I was little, I don't know, I was like maybe 13, 14. We went on like one vacation that I remember and like actually like going and doing stuff. We went to the Houston Space Station, and that was cool. But of course, we didn't get a chance to pick that. Just my mom's like, hey, we're going here.
You know what the good thing about being part of the producer on this show is that you guys think that you can put up overlays and I'm not going to see them, but I deal with the overlays, so I can turn them off and delete them.
All right, guys. So we got a pretty good show lined up for you today. We are going to talk, obviously, some more NFL talk. There's been some big news in Seattle. You can call it big news or not. Why is Buck dressed like the Cracker Jacks? It is not. And so, guys, Combs is like sitting here crying on my shoulder like every day. Is like, why don't we talk more about baseball? Why don't we talk about more about baseball? So I figured I would help him out and like try to bring the spirit out into him.
Whoa. You actually came to me and said, hey, start getting us some baseball stuff for Mondays and Wednesdays. I said, yeah, we'll do that after football's over. So don't try and say I'm crying on your shoulder about talking more baseball. There's nothing to talk. I'm a little bit of stuff to talk about right now. There are a couple of signings, but Snuck it in there, did you? Snuck it in there, you son of a...
So we are going to talk about what happened in Seattle today, and if race is something to play about this. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, stay tuned after the break. And then of course we're going to talk some more NFL action, some more off-season free agent stuff, and of course we got Shop Talk coming up here at 8:45 as well. So if there's anything you guys want to talk about, let us know in the comments, and we'll gladly be talking about that. What's going on?
Tori says our vacation was a pop-up camper at a campground 15 miles from home. That's what I am talking about. Like the kids nowadays, man, they do not understand what it was like to grow up in a time where, one, we didn't have smartphones. There was no such thing as a cell phone. The internet was barely a thing. If you wanted to be on the internet when you were a kid, check this out, Wyatt. If you wanted to be on the internet, but your parents had to get a phone call, you couldn't do the same at the same time. You either had to, if you took the phone call, it would cut out the internet. And then, after they did that, you'd have to do the dial-up, and it would take you 5 minutes to get back onto the internet.
And the only thing you would do on the internet was jump on the AOL chat and like ASL,
MySpace,
right?
MySpace. Yeah. MySpace was the crap, especially once they figured out like how to put music on your page and stuff. Like that was it right there. People would come to your page and they all of a sudden they'd hear whatever song you liked the most at that point, and it would just play on your page as they looked at your pictures and stuff. It was the greatest thing ever. And now we've got Facebook and Twitter and
MySpace
TikTok.
was Facebook before Facebook was Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure you know, and I believe everybody had Tom as their friend.
Look at this crap
as well.
Wyatt and his brother got double vacation. Look, Wyatt. All right, so you're telling me you've got maids who come to clean your home.
A cleaning lady, not a maid.
Cleaning ladies, sorry. Who are paid to clean your house. I had to if I didn't clean my own room, I got my butt whooped.
Twice.
Wyatt, you and your brother get double vacation. If I ever got to take a vacation, my vacation was not getting grounded for the week. That was my vacation.
You just said you went to Tennessee. Come on, man.
Exactly. I was grounded that week.
All right, guys, we are going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we are going to talk about what has happened in Seattle. Angelfish websites was the bomb when I was king. Yeah. Everybody and their dog could make a website and not have to worry about like copyright strikes or anything of that. So it was pretty awesome. But guys, we're going to get right to YouTube to Sports Talk right after this break. We'll be right back here on the Man Hour. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheischer here. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the new blog section over there. Or if you watch us on Facebook, head over to youtube.com/Man Hour and join us on the YouTube page. Let's welcome the boys back to the show. Wyatt, did you post a little picture on there earlier of some Chicago Bears kicker?
No, I didn't, but I for sure saw it on there. That was definitely a thing. Captain
right,
Cody Parkey.
So with that being said, guys, there was some disturbing news that came out earlier today. A Seattle Seahawks offensive lineman named Chad Wheeler basically strangled his girlfriend to death almost, not once but twice, because she would not bow down to him. Like I don't know if this was like was like, hey, I'm a king bow, or like a curtsy or whatever. But he later come out and said on Twitter that he basically had he was bipolar and like had a bipolar.
He had a manic session. That's what he called it.
Well,
Yeah.
it was a bipolar episode. What it came down to from what
He's
the
a
doctors
coward
were
is
saying.
what it comes down to.
So
Piece of garbage.
Combs, you are very, very adamant on this topic, so I'm going to let you go ahead and have the floor first, man. What are your thoughts on the whole Chad Wheeler situation today?
Look, first things first. Any man who puts his hands on a woman for any reason other than to defend himself is a piece of crap. He's a piece of garbage. He's a coward. And he does not have any place in any major sport or anywhere in society, to be honest with you. To beat your wife in this manner, and then when she gets up after 5 minutes of laying there and you say, oh, wow, you're alive? I thought you were dead. Like, that just shows how big of a piece of crap you are. And not only is this situation bad enough, and people are posting about it, and people are talking about it, and I posted the same thing that I just said right now on another network, we'll call them, page, Notoriety Sports, who then comes at me and says, well, he'll get another job in the NFL because of his skin color. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, what are we coming... Not only is what this guy did bad enough, but now you want to throw it into where it's the race card. So, okay, let's play that game then, Mr. Notoriety Sports. I don't know which one of you guys came with that comment, but whichever one of you guys did, you're a clown. Okay, because to sit there and say, oh, because of the color of his skin, he's going to get another job. Have you not heard of Kareem Hunt? Have you not heard of Ray Lewis? Ray Lewis had a man's body in the trunk of his car. Have you not heard of I mean, we'll keep going.
Ray Rice.
Ray Rice kind of, he never really played after that incident.
Yeah, it was all over
I'll give him that. And then even more, look at Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson beat his kid with sticks and made him bloody in his genitalia area. So to sit there and say because of the color of his skin he's going to get another shot is baffling to me. He's going to get another shot because the NFL does not do enough to stop people from getting back in the league after doing this. A guy like this has no place, has no business doing what... If he wants another job, go bag groceries. Go do what other criminals get to do when they get out of prison. This man should go to jail. He should absolutely go to prison. He should absolutely suffer the consequences for his actions. But don't ever sit there and say, oh, man, look at what this guy did. I bet if he was black, it would be worse. Stop with the nonsense. Race is an issue because we keep making it an issue. And this is not one of them times where you need to make it an issue because the situation already speaks for itself. Kareem Hunt does not belong in the NFL. Having to talk about him going to a playoff game and being his comeback game and his vengeance game versus Kansas City 2 weeks ago, that's what everybody was talking about in the NFL. Hell, that's what we talked about on the show. We didn't once bring up the fact that this guy is a woman beater. Not once. But that's what the NFL does. That's what the NFL does. So, yes, do I think that this kid's going to get another chance and go do something? Sure, probably. He probably does get another NFL contract. But it's not because he's white. It's because that's what the NFL does. What he did to his wife is complete freaking garbage. And I like guys like this, I just want to be locked in a room for 5 to 10 minutes. Unbelievable.
Go ahead, Ned.
I don't know if anybody on planet Earth can sum it up any better than that. I think I think that Combs just hit it spot on. I mean, there's no other way to say it. He's a coward, and he wants to call it a manic session. Okay, maybe this guy's bipolar, but it still doesn't change the fact that what he did was just I don't even know what the words are to describe it. If you can seriously beat someone to whether even if it it makes it wrong that it is a woman, absolutely, but if you can beat anyone for no reason within an inch of their life and sit there and say, I can't believe you're alive while you're sitting there. Have you heard the story? He's sitting there drinking a smoothie, and he's sitting there, and she ran from their room after being knocked out to the bathroom to hide and look at herself to see how bad it was. And he's sitting there drinking a smoothie, and he yells at her, I can't believe you're even alive.
And then you get guys like Rick Fiska says people make mistakes. Look, I get people make mistakes. People do things in the spur of the moment. People do make mistakes, and you get a second chance. This is not a mistake. This is a conscious decision to beat the crap out of your wife and absolutely try to kill her. You were surprised that she was still alive. That is not a mistake. That is a conscious decision to do what you did. So, no, I do not give this guy, he made a mistake. He didn't make a mistake. He's an asshole, and he's a clown, and he's a coward, and he deserves to go to prison for what he did.
Well, and he's also trying to blame it now on this bipolar thing. Like I said, the guy might be bipolar, whatever. He might have what's the concussion disease you get? It's
CTE.
CTE, yes. CTE. He might have CTE. He might have that, but it still doesn't change the fact, like you said, it's a conscious decision. You have to make the decision. I don't wake up in the morning and think like, am I going to beat the crap out of somebody today? It's all a choice. He made that choice. He did that himself. And yes, people do make mistakes. You're right. I forget to take out the trash sometimes. I forget to do the dishes. That's a mistake. Beating someone to the point to where they're going to die, that's not a mistake. We've passed mistake then. A mistake is something where you do something on accident, where you do something and you don't mean to. He did that on purpose. He meant to do that. At any point, he could have, just not done it at all, but also at any point, he could have just stopped. At any point, he could have said, okay, I'm being insane right now. I need to stop. She is going to die. At any point, he could have said that, but he didn't. He continued and continued. And like I said, the most disturbing fact were the quotes after, when he said, I can't even believe you're alive right now. Yeah. He knew what he was doing. A mistake is not knowing you're doing something and doing it. A mistake is whenever, like I said, I forget to take the dog out. I forget to do the dishes. Whatever it may be. That's a mistake.
And look, like you said, CTE. CTE is a real issue, for sure, 110%. But that doesn't make things that you do okay. And if you don't believe that, Wyatt, we talked about this the other day. There's a story that you and I are both intrigued by. One I just watched a documentary on, and that's Aaron Hernandez. They say he suffered from some of the worst CTE they've ever seen in a 27-year-old's body. Does that make the 3 murders or 4 or 5 or however many we don't even know about murders okay? I mean, that's not an excuse. Look, I get it. CTE is a real thing. CTE does things to you. I understand that. But to sit there and say that is a claim that you can make and make it okay that you beat your wife, to say, it might be this bipolar thing, or it might be that. That is a defense that a guilty man goes to once he knows he's done. And this should be done. This guy should never play another down in the NFL.
So I let you guys have the floor here, and just I've been gathering thoughts and whatnot, and I believe it was Rick that said it was a mistake that this guy made. I would agree with that to the point that then he went and did it again, right? I have been in the situation where I have been so upset that I have beat a guy a lot, and it was a mistake, just because you get to that point where you black out and you don't know what you are doing. Now that was a mistake on a Friday night after a game, right? But the fact of the matter is that he let's say I were to go do that again. At that point, the mistake is off of the table. because you are constantly doing it again. So you can go ahead and like take the mistake factor off of the table 100%. The second point that I want to bring up here is maybe he did have mental issues, but at some point, the only reason why he is saying that it is a bipolar episode is to when he goes to court for I believe it was 3 felony counts of first degree or a first degree attempted manslaughter that he is facing. Like, he is going to take the I was crazy deal, right? That is the only reason
insanity.
That is the only reason why he is coming out and saying that right now, because a bipolar person knows they're bipolar. He has been prescribed his meds. Why are you not taking your meds? Why are you not subconsciously trying to fix yourself when you can claim all what you want, but the end of the day, he knew he was bipolar or Cisco or whatever you want to call it. He was prescribed meds. He was not taking his meds. And then to say I don't want to keep harping on it, but to say that he said I am surprised you I am surprised you are alive. Why did he not call 911 if he did not
exactly
was it if she knew
because he thought he was going to get away with it like he did the first time. That's the other thing you mentioned. Rick mentioned that he might have mental issues and we don't know what he's going through. Sure, like we said, he might have CT, he might have mental issues, there might be something going on. But the deal is, you also mentioned he has meds he wasn't taking. He did this twice. He's now mentioning, maybe I need to go get help. Yeah, maybe after you beat someone within an inch of their life twice, maybe you now need to go get help. That's what it is. Look, exactly.
Look, I'm divorced twice. Okay, I've been through 2 marriages, and the first one was absolutely horrendous. Like it ended really, really badly, and not once did I ever put my hands on that woman. And I mean, there are ways to handle things that go beyond just, okay, well, I have CT or I'm bipolar or this or that. If you're bipolar, you're bipolar. So if you stop taking your meds, you're not taking your meds. If you know you have anger issues, you have anger issues. So walk away. There is nothing that woman did that caused her to get beat the way that she got beat, and then to get treated the way that you treat her afterwards. Like, a mistake is somebody's like, oh, man, what did I just do? I can't believe I just did that. This guy said, oh, man, I can't believe you're alive. Like, that is the difference here. And that is why this guy has no place in the NFL and should never play another down in the NFL, period.
So the one thing that, Combs, that you went on a Facebook rant back and forth with some people, and basically the color was brought up. So are you guys telling me if this guy was a professional athlete and was black, he would not be in the same situation that they're in right now? I don't think he was arrested, but I did saw that he was charged with 3 accounts of felony something. So he had to have been, taken to jail.
He was arrested and then he posted bail.
Right. So are you telling me a black person wouldn't have done the same?
Yeah, no, absolutely, they would have done the same. Look, it was passed the day that Biden got into office. A law was passed that there is no such thing as a cash bail anymore. So as soon as he got arrested, he was getting out, and that was something that was brought on by a Black Lives Matter movement. That was brought on by people of color saying, "Hey, look, we can't always afford to get out, and we're getting treated like this." So now it's happening in a different way, and now you want to call it, say, oh, it's because stop with that shit. Stop. Because race is an issue when you make it an issue. And I get it. Look, there are bad people who think bad ways all over the country. And it's people of color, it's people that are white, it's people that are Hispanic. It is all over the place. People have racist tendencies sometimes, and that is a learned behavior. But in the thick of things, when you stop and you look at things from a central point of view, when you are somebody who doesn't automatically, when they look at a person, when Adrian Peterson came out, and it was the story about him beating his kids. I didn't say, wow, what an ignorant black man for beating his kid. No. I said, what a piece of crap for beating his child. The color of his skin never even entered my mind. So to sit there and say that this guy is going to get a different deal because he's white is an absolute positive joke, especially when you look at what's going on in the NFL. Ray Lewis was a part of a murder investigation and played a career, and now he's over here talking about, Jesus and telling people how they should treat, and how he's like, oh, innocent black men are getting killed. Well, Ray Lewis, you killed innocent black men. Like, Jesus Christ, stop. Stop with this crap. It is enough. And when you bring it up in stupid segments like this, it drives me nuts, because this guy is not going to get out because of the color of his skin. He's going to get out because the NFL lets people get away with this.
I think the NFL believes in second chances. Unless you're Josh Gordon.
A guy like this does not need a second chance. And Josh Gordon has had 45 chances.
Well, but like you were saying, a guy like this, but then then we have the Kareem Hunt thing. He served.
He doesn't belong in the NFL either.
But I'm saying the NFL is a league of second chances. Look at the Cowboys defensive end that was with the Panthers. What is his name? Hardy, Hardy, right? He did the same. He did the same thing. He was suspended for like a year, and then he played for the Cowboys.
But we both know, if you're a CEO at your company, I mean, you're an IT guy, you're a smart guy, you know how things work. If you're a CEO of your company and you go and beat your wife to within an inch of her life, and she survives, you do your whatever, 3, 6, 9 months, 2 years, 6 years in prison. When you get out, are you going to be able to be a CEO again? No.
You're there, like, you are trying to compare apples to oranges there. So, let's say, I am a VP of a company, and that happens. There is somebody just as more qualified coming out of school that can, do that same job. But when you look at the NFL, you are the best at your sport, so they are all about making money at the end of the day. And what better story than the Hardy guy? He went to jail, then he came out and did his time and all that stuff, and then he came back. It was a good success story, even though he sucked for the Cowboys.
Dude, there is no way. Look, a man who beats a woman or beats a child is the lowest form of human being. I
agree.
And to have to watch him on a Sunday playing in an NFL game, knowing what he did, I just can't do it. I'm telling you right now, if the Bears went out and signed this guy tomorrow, I would not watch a Bears game until this guy was off the team.
But at the end of the day, Combs, winning cures all.
I'm telling you right, if the Bears signed this guy, I would not watch a game until he was off the team. Winning or not, they could be in the Super Bowl tomorrow. I wouldn't watch.
True. I can't say one way or the other, because I was kind of upset from a fan standpoint when the Chiefs did cut Hunt, but that is here nor there. But let's go ahead and transition 100%. And let's talk a little bit about Jason Witten. The Cowboys tight end, retired, became a broadcast analyst, kind of got fired from that maybe. I don't know. He quit, went back to the Raiders, played tight end, but he has officially signed a one-day contract with the Dallas Cowboys and has officially retired from the NFL again. Why? I'm going to give you the floor first, because you are the young pup, but you watch film all the time. Where does Jason Witten rank for all-time tight ends?
I got Jason at 3 because I love Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez is my guy. I've loved Tony Gonzalez since the day that I started watching football and all that stuff. And same with Antonio Gates. They were awesome. Both electric pass catchers who were just ridiculous. I've always hated it that they never really got their shot at a Super Bowl, so that's always kind of held them back from greatness. And that's really the same situation that Jason's in. So that's kind of why I like the tight end argument more than any other argument, because when you think about any argument in sports, the first thing that people refer to is championships. The first thing people refer to at quarterback. Whenever it was an argument, oh, Brady has 6, whatever. In basketball, it's the same thing. Oh, Jordan has 6. It's that's always been the argument between, it's always about championships. But with tight end, your greatest tight ends don't necessarily have championships. I mean, Tony Gonzalez never won one, correct?
Nope. He went to Atlanta to try to ring chase, but that kind of blew his face.
And then same with Antonio Gates out with the Chargers. We all know he definitely didn't win one. But Antonio Gates is my 2. I got Witten coming in at 3.
Ooh,
really? No, Witten at 4. Gronk is 3. I take that back. Witten is at 4 because I know I just mentioned I don't like rings, but I will say the thing I like about Gronk is that he was able to win rings. His problem was he wasn't able to stay healthy. But I got Witten at 4 because he was so consistent. He was always open. He was always there whenever any quarterback, whether if it was Romo, whether if it was Dak for that short amount of time, whatever it was, he was always there and open. He was always the guy that you knew you could dump it off to. He had a toughness like nobody else. I mean, he was probably the last player that we've ever seen run down the field without a helmet. He's the reason why there is a rule now in the NFL that when your helmet comes off, they call the play dead because he was playing, I think it was the Eagles, and he got hit and his helmet came off, but he didn't fall down.
Did he score a touchdown on that play too?
No, he got very close. So I think he got tackled like within the 10-yard line. Yeah. But it was just cool. It was really cool watching him. He is statistically could be the GOAT, absolutely, at tight end. But like I said, I mentioned this a lot. I know Buck really likes to go off of this as well. But I'm not a big guy for just looking at papers. A guy's got to pass the eye test as well. And Witten definitely passed the eye test for me. I really liked what Witten did. He was a great blocker as well. You could trust him on the outside, because that's always been the big marquee thing for the Cowboys, that offensive line, how good the blocking style is for them. Yep. So you can't just come in and be some shrub that they're going to throw on the end of the offensive line in a 3-point stance. You've got to be able to block for the running back. You've got to be able to do that to fit that system. And he fit it well, and he fit it for a really long time. So I really respect Jason Witten and everything he did. So yeah, that's why I got Jason Witten at 4. Easily, I'm going to say at worst he's a top 5 tight end all time if he isn't 4. But I got him at 4.
So Combs, before I kick it to you, Wyatt, I think you were looking over a Bears great by the name of Mike Ditka. I mean, he did great things at the tight end spot too. So
he's overlooking.
Yeah. So Combs, where would you have Jason Witten ranked as the all-time tight end?
I mean, he's top 10. I give him that. I mean, you've got guys like you just mentioned, Mike Ditka, a couple guys that Wyatt mentioned, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, Gronkowski, but you're forgetting about Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp was a beast. Even though I can't stand listening to him as an analyst, he was a hell of a tight end. Kellen Winslow was another one who was just a phenomenal tight end, very overlooked. Ozzie Newsome, Cleveland great, was a great tight end. I mean, that guy had like 600-700 catches, and I don't even think he played 200 games in the NFL. I mean, he was absolutely phenomenal as a tight end. Ditka was a great tight end. John Mackey was a great tight end. I think Witten you can put in there at 9 or 10 with like a guy like Greg Olsen. I think Greg Olsen is another tight end that gets overlooked, but I think Greg Olsen and Jason Witten are interchangeable at 9 and 10.
Yeah, guys, we have been kind of blessed with a great tight ends over the last 20 years. Like, think about the Colts. They had Dallas Clark. I mean, he kind of came out of nowhere and had like 6 or 7, 8 great years there. And then you had, all the names that like you guys said as well. I mean, like, it is very, very hard to put him as the best or even top 5 just because, like, if you even flash back to like mid 90s to early 2000s, like you had Shannon Sharp, he had Tony G, Antonio Gates. I wrote down a list here. How about the Patriots tight end Penn Coates from, I think, he was from like early 90s to, I think he played till 2000. So I mean, like he did great things for the sorry guys, for the Patriots, but let's not
he won a Super Bowl with the Ravens too, didn't he? That year they won the Super Bowl?
I'm not for sure about that because I thought Shannon Sharp was a tight end for the Ravens the year they won the Super Bowl.
No, I'm pretty sure
Shannon Sharp was, I believe.
But let's not forget about the San Francisco great tight ends that they have. Yes, they got their guy now. His name always slips on, or George
Kittle.
Yeah. But what about the tight end before that, Vernon Davis? I might even slide him in a top
well, you're forgetting another one, Dwight Clark, the catch.
Oh yeah,
that was another San Francisco great. There's a lot of really great tight ends, but I think
people really, really like Witten, so that's why he gets higher on some people's lists than other people's. I think
he's a
he was
likable
definitely
guy.
one of the most consistent tight ends over the last 10 to 15 years. But he is not like, I mean, when you start looking at the greats, you have to start talking about athleticism, guys who catch the ball, guys who do this, guys who do that well. There are just so many guys who, I mean, you look at. I mean, you're talking about guys who are even maybe still playing now, and like a Jimmy Graham. I think even Jimmy Graham has a case for being better than Jason Witten. So there are a lot of great tight ends. I don't even think calling him top 10. I don't even think that's a slight on him. But I think top 5 is very, very high because we've had some great tight ends in this game.
Yeah, and I think sometimes why these stats jump off the page so much for him, because it was just him for the longest time in Cowboys land. Like, it was Jason Witten and like a quarterback, whether it be Tony Romo. I think Jake Delhomme threw him a few balls. Quincy Carter, who was the Cowboys coach that was a quarterback for like a little while there. Now it's Jason Garrett. Guys, like it was always just Jason Witten and Cowboys and like the rest of the team. So like I think that's the main reason why stats jump off the screen. But why I am glad you brought up the eye test, simply because stats lie. Because like yes, Jason Witten, he had like 13,000 yards, right, and like averaged 10 yards per catch with 72 touchdowns. Like if he was on the Kansas City Chiefs right now, would those numbers be as high? I don't think so. But he's a very, very solid guy.
Yeah, in the end, I mean, Travis Kelce is going to be up in the top 5 as well. And then you've got a couple of others that are out there right now that are going to jump up above Jason Witten. It's probably going to push Witten out of the top 10 all time. So, I mean, you look at who's the other great tight end that's out there right now?
You got Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz, he's another.
You got
good
that dude from Chargers again. His name always
Hunter Henry.
Mind. Yeah,
Hunter Henry,
I think he's a free agent too.
There's another one we're missing though. I can't think of it.
What about the Packers?
Tunyon,
right? Yeah,
he's young, but he's got a lot of potential.
Right. And then the Lions have a good young tight end.
T.J. Hawkinson.
Hawkinson. So tight end is a very stout spot here. Like honestly. So, I mean, any closing thoughts, guys, before we head to a break and head to Shop Talk?
No, I mean Jared Cook, that's the guy I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
Jared
Cook, yeah.
Really good tight end, yeah. But no, I think Witten's had a great career. I think his number definitely gets retired in Dallas because he's probably the best Cowboys tight end of all time.
I can't think of any others.
He definitely is the best Cowboys tight end of all time.
Yeah, so he's definitely a top tight end of all time, but not above some.
Do you think he goes back in? Does he go back into the booth?
Oh yeah. He's going to follow.
Maybe
he was so bad.
He wasn't that good though. Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys out there who aren't very good. The guy who does Sunday Night Football, he's a clown too.
Chris Collinsworth.
My dad always talks like, oh, he is like he talks. He's the greatest receiver ever. He was like fifth string on this Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
And every time he talks about somebody, he's like, well, here's a guy. Dude, I just want to.
Oh no, the one that ticks me off the most is whenever every single time he sees Russell Wilson play, and Russell Wilson will sidearm something or do something cool, he'll be like, well, flashback to Russell Wilson's baseball playing days. That looks like Russell Wilson throwing it from shortstop all the way over there to first base. I'm like, dude, shut up. God, he ticks me off so much.
We are going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we got the world's famous Shop Talk. If you guys want to talk about anything sports related or just anything in general, post it there in the comments and we'll bring it up and chit chat about it for the next 15-20 minutes right here on the Man Hour, guys. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Marco Buckhauscher here. Head over to manhourradio.com. Become a members over there. You got members as low as $3 a month over there. Also, during the break, I was reminded that we will be on 313 The Flash starting next week every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. East Coast time. That is 313 The Flash, based out of Detroit, Michigan, every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. So, guys, that is some big news happening here on the Man Hour side of things, guys. We are growing, we are getting bigger, and people are starting to want us to be a part of their radio stations. And I'm pretty excited about that. Like, how do you guys feel?
Man, it's amazing. Look, we've worked our tails off, and it's happened in a quick amount of time for us. Like we've really worked hard at this thing, especially me and you, Buck, on the back end, and then we brought Wyatt into this, and Wyatt's just been absolutely tremendous since we brought him on. And even behind the scenes, the things that you guys don't see is that, I mean, from the time that we wake up in the morning, I wake up in the morning and I usually have texts waiting from Buck and Wyatt. Like, it is absolutely insane, but we put a lot of effort into this show, a lot of effort into bringing you guys, the talk that we like to talk about. Sometimes we get a little bit off the rails. Sometimes we talk about things that we're just passionate about. Like, the last segment, I got a little bit heated there. It took me a little bit to calm down, but we're just passionate about what we do, and I think that is why we are growing as fast as we are. I think because people see that, and people grab onto that. And so I just want to thank each and every one of our listeners, from PK to Tori, and on down the line, all you guys that come out there and support us every single day is absolutely amazing, and we thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts.
Absolutely. No, I agree 100%. I love these guys. We work our tails off, like they said, 24/7. It's cool to I appreciate that, Stacy, but it's cool to get noticed from these places. But I like to keep the mentality of nobody cares, work harder, never satisfied, keep working, keep your nose on the grindstone. I like to think of this as one of those moments. I'm very excited for it, but I also don't want to get too excited because I don't want this to be that big moment. You know what I mean? I want to keep growing, want to keep getting bigger, and I know we will. So, yeah, I'm pumped for the future and what everything holds. And exactly. Like I love the shirt from Lamar last year. It says right here, it's a black shirt. It says, "Nobody cares, work harder." I love it. So I always try and keep that mentality.
Yeah, who really cares about Lamar? Like, let's be flat out honest. But, guys, this is time for Shop Talk, and you guys are interested about talking anything about us, let us know in the comments. And the first thing that I saw here in the comments is the ticket prices. I'm assuming she is talking about NFL games. Guys, because during the break, I looked up the average ticket price for the NFL games. Obviously, the highest ticket price average for the Dallas Cowboys was $110 per ticket. So that is the average from the nosebleed down to the front row. Obviously, the front row is like $500 or $600, right? So, guys, what do you think a reasonable NFL ticket would cost?
So,
dude, it's ridiculous.
It's nuts, and I think these big stadiums, these big venues, I think the ticket prices are nuts as it is, just because I'll give an example here. So I work for the IHSA. I broadcast games for them, and every year we get an all-access pass to the state championship games. and whether if that's basketball or football or whatever, right? So we get a pass to the football, and this year because of COVID, we didn't get a pass because of limited all that stuff. It's completely understand and all that good stuff, but me and my friend and my girlfriend, we still wanted to go up and watch the games, and we show up at the ticket box, and like I said, I'm gonna remind you, this is high school, okay? Yes, it is state championships, but yes, it is high school. You ready for this? It was $90 for me and my girlfriend to watch three high school football games. No, two. That's two. Blake paid for his own.
Okay,
45 each.
45 each for 3 games.
High school game?
Combs,
for high school.
That's 3 games though. Come on, man. That's a reasonable price.
That's not counting.
That's high school.
They were nosebleeds. They were terrible seats. We were in the top deck.
First
we weren't on the field.
There are no bad seats at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Well, yes, but I mean, I would like to have on the field seats much more than I would like to have seats that are in like section 240 up in top left corner of the stadium. And like I said, $90 for all of us to be there. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. And that doesn't cover food. That doesn't cover the gas on the way up. That doesn't cover the hotel that we stayed in because we were going the next day. We went the next day, too. It was a 2-day thing. So we had to pay that twice.
$5 a person for high school.
Exactly. That's perfect.
Wait, you said $5?
$5 a person for high school games.
On like Friday night, it's like $12, I think, to get into a Floyd game.
That's insane.
I think it's $5.
Look,
for students.
I thought it was insane when as a Bears fan in New England, it was always hard getting to see the Bears. They were never on TV. And I'm like, the Bears are coming to New England for a preseason game. Let's go ahead and get tickets to this. So I go and I jump on to get tickets to an NFL preseason game. Now, mind you, it's week 2 of the preseason, so my starters are only going to play for 1 quarter, okay? And they have the nosebleeds, last row in the entire stadium, all the way up, $200 a person. $200 for a preseason NFL game where my starters aren't even playing for more than a quarter. I'm going to pay you look, I will sit at home, nice and cozy. I will take that $200. I'm going to go buy some wings. I'm going to go buy some pizzas. I'm going to go buy a 70-inch TV. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch. I am not paying $200 to sit up in the last row of the stadium in Gillette to watch the Bears take on the Patriots in a preseason
the Bears,
game.
They suck.
In a preseason, they won that game. In a preseason game,
they won a preseason game.
Oh, all right.
They won a
preseason
preseason game.
So when you talk about them, you said they're going to lose because they suck, and then I said they actually won that game. Now it's because it's a pre. You see, you just have excuses for everything. Why? You know what you don't have an excuse for? Aaron Rodgers and why he can't win an NFC title game.
He's won more than the Bears lately, right? But so.
He has the same amount of Super Bowl appearances as the Bears quarterback did from 2008. I can't even think of his name, the kid from freaking Florida. That's how bad Aaron Rodgers has been in an NFC title game. That's the same amount of Super Bowls.
Still been there more times. So let's go ahead and get back to the tickets here. So you guys understand, like, they have to make money in 8 games, right? They don't have, like, baseball. They don't have 82 games to make, their millions of dollars that they got.
$200 for a preseason game, Buck.
They have 10 games a season, 2 preseason, 8 regular season games to make their money. So I am perfectly fine paying $150.
I'm not paying $200 for a regular season game, let alone a preseason.
If you're going to defend these stadiums, what about concerts? What about state championship games? They venue that.
Concerts are different. I mean,
they still get the venue still gets money,
right? But
$10 a beer, Buck.
Yeah,
$10 a beer.
It is. You have to make $400 million in 8 games to pay your players, to pay your staff, to pay
they do that at baseball games. $10 a beer. What do you like? It is absolutely insane what these stadiums charge for not only tickets but concessions is absolutely $6 for a hot dog. For $6, I go buy 2 packs of hot dogs and feed my entire family off the grill.
Well, then go do that. It is all about the experience. You
like
are
Combs
not paying
makes
for
a
the
mean
game.
hot dog.
You are paying for the experience. You are paying for the atmosphere. You are paying to see D Ford line 4 yards off like offsides. Like it wasn't me. But I digress on that. Stupid D Ford should be back-to-back Super Bowls by now. But like,
stop your whine.
Listen to this guy crying. Listen to this guy crying. His team just won a Super Bowl. Now they're ready to win a second
Super Bowls. My team can't even get to the damn playoffs. Wyatt's team can't win an NFC title game, and you're whining about back-to-back freaking Super Bowls.
I can't believe we didn't win the Super Bowl.
Over here looking like a freaking bucket of popcorn.
You look like a bucket of.
Hey, you know what? I can walk outside with my chest out saying I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan and I am proud of it. I'm not going to have this little C or G on my shirt like, yeah, I'm a Bears fan, guys. Yeah.
Hey, look, I display my Bear stuff proudly. What are you talking about? I got Bear stuff all over the place. I got my Cubs
I see
stuff
Cardinals.
hanging.
I see Combs.
Dude, you want
your
see
flag
Bear
still
stuff?
looks orange. Your flag still looks orange.
I got Bear stuff sitting right here. I even got your Kansas City Chiefs stuff sitting right here. Like,
yeah.
What are you talking about?
Talking about a bandwagon there.
Don't mess with me.
Combs, you are a bandwagon. I mean, like, look at like you got a Chiefs. You will what?
I will wreck you.
You will wreck me.
Wreck you.
Combs.
I will beat you by 15 yards just like Calvin's going to do when he gives you a 35-yard head start.
Combs, every show we do this. You have to be at least 5'7" to talk shit, man. That's just that.
I will get up on a 6-foot ladder and talk shit.
Sheesh.
And I still won't be 5'7".
You still, guys. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, it looks like the Wyatt Williams, not just Wyatt Williams, but the Wyatt Williams is going to interview the one and only
guy,
Kooper Jacobi. I like
And Kooper, I will add, is taller than 5'7", so
yeah, he is
a whole lot taller than 5'7".
6'3".
You absolutely. By the way, you absolutely killed that vibe with the.
I think he's like 6'5",
University of
6'6".
Miami, the Ohio State, the Wyatt Williams, the Manauer, the.
I don't see the Combs in front of anything you have on. I see
the
Wyatt Williams.
You know why, Wyatt? Because
we're getting ready to take a break, and that's how we do it here on the Man Hour, guys. We'll be right back.
What is up, Man Hour Nation? As you see in the bottom left corner, it is the Wyatt Williams, and I have a very special guest with me now. It is the Silver Creek Dragon, the future Toledo Rocket, the Kooper Jacobi. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you, Wyatt?
I'm awesome, man. So we had a little dilemma while you were backstage. How tall are you? I said 6'6". Is that correct?
Yeah, 6'6", 6'7", around there.
Okay, cool. I was going to say, I've called a bunch of your games to the point where I feel like I should know that now. I'm calling your game on Friday too, so I needed to know that. So thank you. I'll go ahead and write that in my notes after.
I think we lost Wyatt there for a second. So, hey, Kooper,
I'm back.
What? Oh, you're back. All right, good.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. I think Mom turned off the Wi-Fi for a second. I don't know. Sorry,
turn off the lights. It was bedtime.
Yes, turn off the lights. It was bedtime. Sorry, Coop. What did you say? Answer that question again. My bad, buddy.
Yeah, I said 6'7", probably.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, you play for Silver Creek right now. There is a lot of big names at Silver Creek right now. Kaufman, of course, Northern, Robert's the kid you guys brought in. He's another kid with a D1 offer. So how cool is that to get to play with all that talent around you just at the high school level? I mean, you're basically now playing on a college roster pretty much, or a college starting five almost. So how cool is that for you to get to play with that much talent?
Yeah, I mean, it's really awesome. Like you said, being able to play with three, future D1 guys, I think it makes, practices more exciting, and just being able to play against them, I think makes us better, especially, being able to guard Trey a lot, Purdue, going to Purdue next year. I mean, I think it prepares you for the next level, especially him going to high major school. I mean, it's awesome. It's really cool to be able to play with the guys. But yeah, like you said, it's hopefully we can use our talent and win some games coming in the postseason.
Absolutely. So you talk about postseason. That's a big thing with you guys. You guys are number one in the state right now. You were number one last year, and even 2 years ago, you won the state championship for 3A. So last year was it just sucked because you guys were on track to win that. In my opinion, I think you 100% had that locked up to win the 3A state title. What was that like, kind of going through the locker room, knowing that you weren't going to get a shot at that, keeping your guys' heads up? What was that like?
Yeah, I think it was weird, for everyone. The initial week in March, obviously, we thought we were going regional that Saturday when everything was shut down, and it felt pretty bad at first, knowing we weren't going to be able to play, state championship or semi-state regional, any of that. But I think once, because I thought it was, maybe just us. I thought college was going to be able to play and, the bigger levels. But when realizing, every sport was canceled, I mean, it lessened the blow, I think, a little. But especially, having the best season Silver Creek, I think, record-wise that it had last year, it stunk knowing that, we were playing good and we're hoping to repeat like the year before. But I think once everyone else, had their seasons canceled, it lessened a little bit. Still, it stunk, obviously, not being able to, compete for another state title.
So you mentioned how dominant you guys were last year with the best record Silver Creek had ever had. And you guys were a completely underclassmen team. There was, one, maybe two seniors? Was it just one?
Yeah, we had one senior.
I mean, that's incredible. You got, and he wasn't even a member of the starting five. So, I mean, how cool is that to know, like, hey, we got everybody coming back next year. Even though it sucks we didn't get to run out this year, hey, we're going to get that shot next year.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Of course, this summer we didn't get to play as much together as we wanted to. We still got to play Big Cup a lot, but not, organized stuff against other schools, which we did most of June. But yeah, there was a lot of, talking with the guys, being ready. I mean, we going into this year, we knew we had the same guys. We already went through a year of it, our junior year, and Brandon and everyone else's sophomore, freshman year. But yeah, we were really looking forward to it and having a great year this year. But it has been hard here and there, with COVID and everything. But also, and we've had some injuries, on the team here and there. Of course, Trey wasn't able to play our first, I think, 5 or 6 games, so that threw a wrench, in the team overall. But I think we're still getting better every game and looking forward to March.
So you next year are going to be headed to Toledo, a D1 college in the MAC conference, I believe, correct? Just MAC conference?
Yep, MAC conference.
So how cool is that to kind of, I mean, every kid's dream growing up is to play at the next level after high school, to get to play ball at the level where you're not guaranteed to play ball. So how cool is that to not just play college basketball, but get to play it at such a high level?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Obviously, like you said, it's a dream come true for so many guys, and for me, I'd say the same. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to play Division I basketball. I never thought, I would be able to do it. Thank God, every day, and looking really forward to it and getting better every day, because I know it's going to be a huge jump once you go from high school to college. So I think my mindset now is just trying to do my best on the high school team and hopefully win a state championship, but also getting ready for the next level and the positions and the level of talent that I'm going to be playing with. Just trying to get that every practice and game and just working out on my own. But it's awesome just thinking about being able to play God willing in a Division I game is obviously was a goal of mine since I was young, and it's cool to be able to make it happen. I'm looking forward to next year.
Now, Kooper, Wyatt, whenever we're interviewing athletes, Wyatt, and I tell this to everybody who we interview, always has a story about how he was a great athlete and this and that. Now, I will tell you that I'm happy you're going to Toledo, but I once won 7 straight national titles with Toledo on NCAA 14 on the PlayStation 3. So, those are going to be tough shoes to follow, buddy. I don't know that 7 straight national titles is in you, but, hey, we're going to wish you the best there. But on a serious note, with all the teams that came after you, I'm looking at some crazy. You've got Towson, you've got Miami of Ohio, you've got Indiana State, Ball State, Akron. All those teams are coming after you. What made Toledo stand out to you and made you want to go play for that program there?
I think a couple things. I think their style of play. I really like how they play this. Compared to the other teams, and just being able, I think, have the opportunity to play freshman year. But overall, I think it was a hard decision in the end, because with COVID, I wasn't able to visit, with all those schools like I wanted to. So with what I had, I think, like I said, this is style of play and the opportunity to play freshman year. And I think the third thing would be just the success. They're pretty successful program in basketball school, and they're doing really good this year. I think that was another reason that set them apart from the other schools that were recruiting me. And I obviously love the coaches and the players that I got to meet. But once again, it was different compared to the other years, because we weren't able to have normal visits and be able to watch practice and stay with the guys. So with what I had, I would probably say those reasons.
And now one of the other things I always like to ask athletes when they come on is thinking about the next level. Obviously, the NBA is every kid's dream when they're hooping and at the high school level and all that stuff and going to college. Now, give me one guy playing in the NBA today, not named LeBron James, because everybody always chooses LeBron James, who you would like to cross up and watch lay on the floor as you go in for a dunk.
Yeah, that's a hard question. I don't know. One player that I would want to cross, I don't know. I think I'd probably say that one of the best defenders, Kawhi. That'd be pretty cool to cross him, because no one does that often. So I go with Wyatt, Clippers guy.
There you go.
Yeah, it's hard, especially this day and age in the NBA. There's not a whole lot of really good defenders in the NBA anymore. They're few and far between. When you think of great cross-ups, so you always think back to AI when he crossed up Jordan, Kobe. Used to cross up pretty much everybody. And guys like that. And now everybody always wants to cross up LeBron. So I always like to find out who you'd like to cross up. I like that answer though. But Kawhi's a hell of a choice.
Yeah.
So Kooper here, I've been following your game here probably about 3 or 4 years now. As a sophomore, I believe you were coming off the bench, right? Like the first half of the year.
Sophomore, no, I think I was started sophomore year.
Okay, so that had to be your freshman year that you were coming off. So starting that freshman year, when you started to come off the bench, I saw your game improve by leaps and bounds. Do you think that was just a confidence, or did you actually feel yourself getting better each and every game?
Yeah, I think it was both. I think in the beginning, my confidence maybe was a little lower, but I think once I kept getting in games, I think my confidence did grow, and I'd say both. I think I got better, as the season went on, which was awesome to go through that. And be able to play more and more. I mean, that was a dream come true. Because freshman year, I didn't know how much varsity I would play. With JV playing varsity, I did 2 quarters JV and 3 varsity. So it was not knowing what I was coming to. But I think as the year went on, my confidence and playing better, playing more was growing. So I think I'd say probably both at my freshman year.
Now, I don't have the ability to go down and see you play all the time like these guys do because they live in southern Indiana area. I'm up here in Chicago. And so when I look up the athletes that we interview, I always have to look them up, see what they things say about them. And one of the things that is said about you most when I look you up, the first thing that pops up is always says Kooper Jacobi produces. Now, let me ask you this question: would you rather set a school record at Toledo, or would you rather hit a game winner against a blue chip school in the tournament?
I'd probably say game winner against a blue chip school. I think that would be. I think I would rather win as a team and go far in the postseason than score personal points, because scoring and losing or not making the tournament, that's cool, but I don't think that's as cool as making that tournament. That's always been a goal of mine. I forgot to say that earlier, but I think Toledo was a place that I thought we could hopefully make it to the tournament one of those years. But I'd go with hitting the game winner on blue chip. That would be, especially in the tournament, that would be awesome to do.
Yeah, man. I mean, just the idea of hitting a game winner against a team like a Duke or North Carolina or Virginia or any of these really big name schools who have just taken off over the last 20, 30 years, who really seem to be favorites every year going into the tournament. I always root for those teams that are down there. Like I always root for the 16th seed to beat the 1 seed or 15th seed to go to the Final Four. So watching a Toledo succeed, I think would be really, really, really impressive. Now, why do you think that you can go to a school like Toledo, and what about this program makes you think that you guys have what it takes to get to a tournament?
I think their success right now is a part of it. I think this season, I think they're 13-4 last time I looked, but I think just the pieces they have now, they're a great shooting team now, and I think that helps them, against the MAC schools and being productive, and winning games and hopefully making the tournament. But, when I get there, hopefully they seem a very great defensive team too. So I think the defense, and shooting the ball well it can be hard to stop if you can get that down pat with 7-8 guys or everyone on the team that plays. But I think, I do look forward to winning, and hopefully they make it this year. But I'm looking forward to making the tournament next year if we have the chance. That would be awesome.
So before I let Wyatt take it away, sorry Wyatt. Like
you're good, buddy.
Like you said, hitting a game-winning shot, it is kind of like your ideal situation, right? Over a blue chip team like Duke or Kentucky. What about a team like Purdue? You are playing them in the Sweet 16. You and Trey are going head to head, and then you hit the game winner over Trey. Would that even be that much more exciting? Just because Trey has gotten so much excitement here in Silver Creek area, how would you feel about that?
That would be. That would be crazy. I don't even know what I would think if that happened. Even be able to play him, that'd be really cool. One of our coaches the other day said he predicts Toledo playing Purdue in the next 3-4 years in the tournament.
Yeah. So, I got one more question, or kind of one more statement type question before I can kick back over to Wyatt. I mean, Trey has gotten a lot of attention on your guys' team over the past 4 years, but I feel like you have been the X factor, kind of the glue that has held this team to, as one team. Do you take pride in that kind of being the role player on the team, kind of like the knit and gritty, holding everything as one?
Yes, sir. I think I take pride in that and working hard every game and keeping the team together. I agree with, I do take pride in that and try to make sure, I'm never slacking in the game and always working as hard as I can, be an example to everyone on the team. So yeah, I think that is a goal of mine to make sure I'm setting the bar every game of just to work as hard as I can and to follow our team's game plan throughout the game. But yeah, I agree with you there.
So you mentioned Trey not a minute ago. We mentioned it a bunch, but the first time that I came to call one of your guys' games, I saw you sitting over in the bleachers, and I walked over to you, and we said hi, all that stuff. We were talking, and I asked you, what is it like to see Trey Kaufman play? Like, what is he like on the floor? And your answer to me was, he's the best guy on the floor at all times. So I got to ask you, even though you said that, you're a really good shooter, you're a great defender, you're just about the same height as him. He's maybe got a couple of inches on you. If you guys did square off one-on-one, say in the tournament, or just one-on-one, who wins that? And let's say you guys played a 20. What's the final score of that game?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say, I don't know. If I was being honest, I'd probably say I'd give it to Trey. It'd be a close game, but I think he would edge me out if, in the end, playing to 20. But we do it a lot in practice, and it's very close. But I'd give it to Trey.
I can imagine it's electric seeing you guys go at it.
You are way too humble, man. You gotta say, look, Trey's a great player, but I would make his knees shake. I would leave him laying on the ground, and I would be dunking the ball all over him. Don't let him have that.
So before we let you go, I think you have a better outside shot than Trey. So you can just take him inside and shoot him outside, and I think that would win the game for you. But let's talk about the girls' basketball team here a tad bit. They are having arguably, I think, the best season in high school girls history. If you guys were to go head to head with the girls' team right now, could you guys beat the girls' team?
Oh, man.
Would Alana Striverson shut down Trey Kaufman's basically what he's asking here.
I don't think so. I think Trey's got her there. I think we get him. Yeah.
No, you guys have some incredible teams out there. You and Kaufman, Northern, Roberts, even Shane, all the guys on your guys' team. You guys have great camaraderie, an awesome team. I love watching you guys play. I'm extremely excited tomorrow night to watch you guys go to Madison and call that game. I think it's going to be a really good game. What's the prep on that for you? Can you give me a little bit of a scouting report? I've done my scouting on the end, as a broadcaster, but you as a player, what is your scouting on it? Give me the rundown. Let's hear it.
Yeah. They're a great team. They're 10-2. They haven't lost much this year. Play 5 guards, so they're very quick. They don't have. They have a couple big guys that come off the bench, but we're gonna have to be ready to play one-on-one defense. They're gonna be driving at us whole game and hopefully stop the three. Is go on defense and go down and score quick.
Absolutely, man. So. I love everything you're doing, man, but the final question here, okay? I always kind of toss a goofy one up here at the end, right? So we went to elementary school together, right?
Okay,
and every day it was kickball, right? And it was competitive to just cutthroat, tough stuff, right?
Correct,
so wouldn't you say I'm probably the best kickball player you've ever seen in your life? At least top 3?
Don't do it, Kooper. Don't do it.
From elementary school, I'll give you were pretty good in elementary school. I haven't seen you lately.
Oh my God! We're gonna listen to this. Look, Kooper, you have no clue what we go through here, buddy. If we talk about a football team, all of a sudden, we could be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, and Wyatt will spend 20 minutes telling us why the Packers are going to win it. So now, for the next 2 weeks, we're going to talk about how great of a middle school freaking kickball player Wyatt Williams was. So I'd like to thank you a lot for that, sir.
No problem.
Coop, you're the man. I really appreciate you coming on the show tonight. Especially a lot of people don't know this behind the scenes. We got Coop on a very short notice, so I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come on. You're the man. You're a great interview, and best of luck tomorrow night for the rest of the season. So good luck to you, buddy.
So, hey, real quick before I let you head out, me and my wife are going to the game on Friday night. Can we get an alley-oop dunk?
we'll try it.
All right, man. Thank you for joining us, man. You have a great night.
Appreciate you, buddy. Peace out, man.
See you guys.
All right, guys, that was Kooper Jacobi, a great, great young man. Like, guys, like, seriously, like, I think this kid is the X factor for the Silver Creek team. Like, if they did not have him, they would not be winning state championships and winning as many games as they have. Like, he is like a duck on the pond. Like, he is always cool, calm, and collective. Like on the surface, even though like his head might be going like a million miles a minute. Like he's like oh, come on, guys, come on. Like he's always
Absolutely.
very positive.
Just one more great humble kid from Southern Indiana. And the only thing I didn't like about that interview was that he gave Wyatt Williams his, something to boast about over the next 10 years. But no, another great humble kid. I mean, Southern Indiana, the thing about those kids down there, man, is that they make me want to drive down there just to watch games because it's almost like they don't know how good they are. And so that's what I like about
I genuinely think Kooper is that kind of kid. He does not know genuinely how good he is. And I agree with Buck completely. Trey Kaufman is a nationally ranked player. He is the number one player in the state for basketball. I think he's top 10 for his position in the nation. He is an incredible player and an awesome person too. But when you look at Kooper, he brings such a dynamic look to that offense and adds so much to where if it was just Trey, everybody could hone in and focus on Trey. I still don't think they'd be successful at it. He would still average a ridiculous amount of points because that's just how good of a player he is. But it allows that offense to really expand more, and it allows them defensively to expand more. I think Wyatt needs a 3-time world's greatest kickball player, 2003, 2000. Yes, I will work on that.
Yet. He wasn't born until 2007, right?
I am not creating that graphic. We are not having that overlay. I don't care how many times you ask me. That is not happening.
No, but Kooper is the Scottie Pippen to the MJ. Absolutely. He is that guy that the team needs. He makes it work. He is the function. He like Buck said, he is that X factor. He's the guy that's going behind the scenes and is, clapping, getting everybody going, all that good stuff. And on the nights when Trey Kaufman can't be there, he talked about Trey wasn't available at the beginning of the season for a couple of games. Cooper picked it up. I think Cooper dropped like 48 points against North Harrison. They still lost that game. It was awesome. They lost the game, which sucked, but it was still, if it wasn't for Cooper, they're not in that game. That's just the player he is. He's a great leader. He's an awesome player on and off the court. And I am Buck. Did you say you're going to that game tomorrow night?
I'm planning to, yo.
I will see you there then, buddy.
So one thing that came to mind during that interview was the player that he said that he liked to cross up, Kwai. Guys,
best defender in the league. Perimeter defender.
Cooper's game might mock the best. Like if you had to mock his game after a NBA player, that is that guy. Like he's humble, he's quiet, and just
Not a lot of NBA players have come out of Toledo. So to go to a school like Toledo really says something about this kid, because a lot of these other guys are going to go to these other schools. The Ball States, I never know what the name of the school is, but I always call it Huey Pewee, and those schools produce more NBA type players. Yeah. So I don't know.
But before, call it.
I knew
exactly what you were talking about when you said it, man. I knew exactly what you're talking about. Indiana University for University, Indiana.
Before we go to break, I always admit when I am wrong. And Tori Anderson, why are you stealing my questions, Combs? I did steal his questions about beating the blue chip team or breaking the school record. But hey, look, Tori Anderson, that's kudos to you because that's a great question.
Yeah,
like I even messaged him on the side while you guys were talking with Jacoby there. I was like, look, I couldn't think of anything of my own, so I stole yours. I'm sorry.
So, on the other side of things, like, do you guys realize that from Southern Indiana, like, we could have like basically a high school game at this college like levels in the next few years? Like we had Kobe Barnes, we have Trey, we have Jacoby, the Highbreeder kid, right?
I can name you a starting five right now. So we'll have Highbreeder at point. We'll have Let's see here. I'll put Kobe at guard because he's a big guard. We'll put Kaufman we'll put Kobe at the 3. We'll put Kaufman at the 4, and then
who is that big kid from Floyd that was a freshman last year? Should be a sophomore this year. Little curly hair, goofy kid that looks bald, but he's not. Like number 55 or something like that. You know who I'm talking about?
Caleb Washington.
Maybe he started as a freshman last year. So.
Oh, is he have a blonde afro?
Yeah.
Is Kevin Woodruff?
Yeah.
Right. He's a senior this year. Never mind. I'm not sure who it was then.
I'll have to look it up. But guys, we're going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk some more NFL talk. What's up, Combs?
Before we get to break, so Babe Ruth had the Sultan of Swat, the Colossus of Clout, and all these other nicknames. Tori Anderson says Wyatt Williams is the Messi of kickball, the Beckham of kickball bedlam, the Ronaldo of Jefferson kickball fame. God,
hour, guys.
I'm going to hear about this forever.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes are here with Brandon Combs and Wyatt Williams. If you guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, head over to manhourradio.com. Right after this is over, we got the podcast uploaded to the website. You simply click on the podcast form. It'll be the first one up there. Bada bing, bada boom. Click play. You can listen to the whole thing. If you don't want to listen to the whole thing, we do upload the clips from the show the next day. Every morning. So if you want to listen to a certain part of the show, if you want to listen to that interview with Kooper Jacobi again, go ahead and click on that, and we'll watch it, guys. So Tori Anderson says, "Buy me some peanuts and Buck's Cracker Jacks," and I don't ever want to go back.
We've got to stop making fun of Buck. Look, Buck is recording from a bomb shelter in somewhere deep in Afghanistan, and once the sun goes down in Afghanistan, it gets really, really cold really, really quick, and so that propaganda videos, I mean, you got to stay warm.
Yeah, I mean, I actually do have the anklet on right here, so I cannot actually move after 8 o'clock, so I'm literally stuck here until 4 a.m., so guys got to bear with me here a little bit. So, guys, just to talk a little bit more of some basketball, I saw this tweet come across the board. LeBron James is just the third Lakers player ever to score over 20 points in the first half in 3 straight games. The other two, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. How is he not the GOAT now?
He is the GOAT. Has been and always will be.
Tori Anderson is absolute gold. I don't care what anybody says. Tori Anderson is gold.
I just sometimes I just skim over stuff and like act like I see it, but I don't. And it's just like it is.
He said, "Buck, do you have heat in your house? I'm worried. You need a winter hat in your dungeon."
There you go. As Combs hit the mute button again. Like I said, sometimes we just skim right over that. So, guys, let's go ahead and get back into some NFL talk. This last half hour of the show, and I want to bring up Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson had an MVP season just last year, the 2019 season, I should say. This year, many has said he had a down year, or as I say, I told you so. So he has yet to sign a long-term deal with the Baltimore Ravens. So, Combs, I'm going to kick this question to you first. Does Lamar Jackson have to have another MVP caliber season to get a long-term contract in the NFL?
No. Just keep doing what you've been doing. I mean, yes, you haven't had reasonable success in the playoffs. You did win a playoff game finally this year, but keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you keep leading this team to 11-5, 12-4, 13-3, 14-2 records. You're going to get your contract. You're going to get extended because there's not a whole lot of players in the league that can do that. There's no reason to think that he has to have another MVP season. The fact that he's already won an MVP season in his first 4 years in the league is already enough. I mean, there's no reason to think. Yes, look, if I'm Baltimore, I would say this. You could probably look at a Deshaun Watson and say, if we can make a trade, we make that trade. But short of that, you're sticking with Lamar Jackson.
Whoa, so hang on 1 second. You kind of just skimmed over that a tad bit there. You were saying that Deshaun Watson is better than Lamar Jackson?
Yes, absolutely. Look,
okay, I just want to make sure.
Deshaun Watson is a
better passer than Lamar.
Supreme talent. He's a supreme talent in the NFL. Wyatt, you can say, yeah, of course he's a better passer in the NFL. There's a lot of guys.
He's not a better runner though.
In the NFL. But it doesn't.
He doesn't
matter.
bring
You
that
don't
dynamic
want a runner
piece.
as a quarterback. You want a quarterback as a quarterback. So that's where I when Buck says Lamar is trash, I don't agree with him. But when Buck says, he needs to learn how to pass the ball better, he is correct. If you can get Deshaun Watson, look, there are only, I would say, 4 teams in the league that should not look at trading for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is that damn good. If you're Kansas City, you're not looking at it. If you are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're not looking at it. If you are the Cincinnati Bengals, you're not looking at it. And if you're the San Diego or Los Angeles Chargers, you're not looking at it. Every other team in the league needs to look at Deshaun Watson and say, hey, if we can make this trade, we make this trade.
Jumping back to Lamar now.
Wow.
How am I wrong there?
He is the offense for the Ravens.
Why? 1 second.
Go, buddy.
So you are telling me that the Chargers quarterback right now is better than Deshaun Watson?
I'm saying that over the long haul, you're probably looking at building around what you have as opposed to trading all your assets.
What have I told you
quarterback.
about the NFL? You are in a win now league. You aren't building for 3 or 4 years down
right,
the road,
but
right?
You look the Chargers, the Bengals, the who else did I say? The Chiefs.
There is 4 teams in the NFL right now that don't need Deshaun Watson. I would say 4, maybe 3.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But the Ravens are one of those teams that should entertain a trade. If you could trade Lamar Jackson and plus a second and a third round pick and get Deshaun Watson in trade, I'd make that trade every day of the week. I wouldn't even think about it. You wouldn't make that trade?
Well, but here's the thing, though. You got to think about it. Lamar is the Ravens' offense. They have put so much in now to make that a thing. Lamar could not be as successful as he has been anywhere else. He has Harbaugh as a head coach. He's got awesome assets around him to where he can run the football as much as he wants. And here's the deal. To the point of the question here, yes, he's going to get that long-term deal. He was 13-3 last year and got an MVP. This year he made the playoffs and finally won a game. Peyton Manning, the Peyton Manning, a GOAT, did not win a playoff game for, 4 years of his first career, the start of his career?
I think it was 9, wasn't it, before he got out of the divisional rounds?
I think it was.
He still won it in the wild card game, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just you can't really compare that because Lamar Jackson is going to get his deal. And he's the Ravens quarterback. They have put too much time in to changing the offense, making it all about him. And like Buck said, it's a win now league. They have the capabilities of winning now with Lamar. He's proven that. His worst record as a full-time starter is 11-5.
Right. Okay.
11-5.
And that's why I agree with you. And that's why
I'll
I said
take
short of
11-5.
Deshaun Watson, you give him that contract, right?
If I draft a quarterback and you tell me his worst record is going to be 11-5, I'll take that every single day of the week. Because what that tells me is he's going to get to the playoffs and we're going to have a shot. We're going to have a shot at the Super Bowl every single year. And that's what Lamar does to your team. Lamar adds that piece to where you have a shot at the Super Bowl. Of course he's going to get his deal. I can guarantee you right now that Lamar Jackson is going to get a long-term deal. Now, if Lamar Jackson wouldn't have won that playoff game and he would have said he got blew out by Tennessee, maybe I could see the Ravens being like, okay, we're not giving you a Supermax, but we'll give you a nice deal, take it or leave it, and if you don't like it, you can go somewhere else. Sure, I can maybe see something like that. And yes, Combs is correct. I could see them entertaining or looking at a trade for Deshaun Watson that involves Lamar Jackson, but I just wouldn't do that because your offense is strictly based on Lamar Jackson. They have built everything around him. Everything on the Ravens offense is all about Lamar. Everything on that offense.
Deshaun Watson makes the Ravens infinitely better if he steps on the field in a Ravens uniform with the same exact team they have right now. Infinitely better than what Lamar Jackson.
I don't know about infinitely better. I mean, it's a designed mobile offense. It's a designed run-first offense. Deshaun Watson is not a run-first quarterback. He threw for 4,800 passing yards this year.
Right.
4,800. That's nuts.
But when they lost the playoff game, what did we say? We said he doesn't have any weapons. Those same weapons that Lamar doesn't have, Deshaun would turn into weapons. Deshaun would turn Hollywood into a weapon. Deshaun would turn these guys into weapons.
Deshaun's had weapons. Deshaun had DeAndre Hopkins.
Right, but what has he ever done that's wrong? This kid has produced and produced and produced. The team around him has not produced. The team as a whole, they haven't built around him. They haven't done the thing. Like what Bill O'Brien did to that team is unheard of. This guy is a quarterback on a team that went 4-12 and had a quarterback rating of 102.
The problem with Deshaun Watson is unless if he goes somewhere like the Colts, the Bears, the Dolphins, he's an investment. He's not a win now person.
What?
He is not a guy.
If he goes to the Colts, he's winning now, isn't he?
I just said unless if it's the Colts or the Bears where they're a quarterback away. If he goes to somewhere, say the Jets. Where he's looking at, it's an investment. It's not a win now thing. It's not a Super Bowl team. If he goes to the Ravens, I still think it's an investment. I think there's some pieces that need to be added around him. I think the playbook needs to change.
Right.
But there's a lot of stuff that has to be different.
You're naming teams like the Jets, who are just like the Houston Texans, an organization that he's getting out of, that are a dumpster fire. But it doesn't matter who goes there; he's not going to change the face of the franchise.
Well,
Deshaun Watson, though, if Deshaun Watson goes to the Ravens, they are a super. I'm telling you right now, they probably are either they're in the AFC title game or they're in the Super Bowl.
But Deshaun's already said he wants to go to the Jets or he wants to go to the Dolphins. That's his right now.
I'm just saying if you put Deshaun Watson on the Ravens, he wins that game in Buffalo.
So, Combs, let me poke some holes in your argument here. So, you keep saying that the Ravens are built around a mobile offense, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
No, that's what Wyatt said.
Sorry, that's what Wyatt said. So, why did they hire a passing game coordinator to work on the passing game? Like, they are basically trying to make Lamar do something that he is not good at.
Yeah, well, they want him to pass more, and that's what he did. He was a better passer. Every single year we've seen Lamar, he's become a better passer over the years. That first year as a rookie, he led the league in fumbles, and he only played 8 games because he ran too much. Then they got it under control. Yes, he still ran a ton the next year in his MVP year, but the passing got better. We saw Lamar mature a little more. The passing game was starting to get there, and this year we really saw Lamar step back and throw the ball and accurately throw the ball.
I mean, it wasn't yards in a playoff game, right? Great.
But against the Buffalo defense, his Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, that's an incredible DB crew that a lot of quarterbacks would struggle against, especially a run-first quarterback. Yes, they added a pass. Yes, they added a passing piece to the coaching staff offensively, but that was simply to make it to where that Lamar Jackson could throw more and could throw a little better. That's what they added him for. Either way, it's still a run-first offense. Look at their running back crew. They have 3 good running backs right now. They have Lamar Jackson, who literally right now could probably play running back. I think if I had to switch him position, I would switch him to a receiver, but he could still probably play a running back. He's that elusive and that great of a runner. So yes, they have.
there's a difference between running back and running quarterback because the holes are going to open differently for you as a running back than they are as a quarterback who takes off once the pocket collapses and then there's gaps. That's why I hate when people say that he's not a quarterback, he's a running back. He's not a running back either. He is a quarterback that can run, and the better part of his game right now is his legs. He needs to become a better passer in the league to be that guy, to be the guys that we look at right now, like a Patty Mahomes or whatever he wants to be going forward. He has to become a better passer to be a better quarterback. The best part of his game is his legs. He would not be a good running back. I'm not sure how he can catch the ball, so I'm not sure what he would do at wide receiver. He's just really fast, like a Tyreek Hill type. But if he can catch the ball, sure, maybe he can move to wide receiver. But he would not be as successful as a running back as he is as a running quarterback.
So, and like, guys, that is why I don't think Lamar Jackson will be signing a long-term deal. I'm talking like a 5 to 7 year deal. He might get an extension for a year or two, kind of like a prove-it deal, but the Ravens are not marrying Lamar Jackson.
Here's the thing. Who are you going to bring in if you're Baltimore? Who are you going to bring in that is going to do more for you than what Lamar Jackson does for your quarterback? Who are you going to bring in that's going to bring you to 11-5, 14-2, 12-4?
You guys are giving me regular season stats. Who cares about regular season?
I'm not talking about. But all right, so who's going to get you to the playoffs to give you those playoff
that's
stats?
what we're saying. Who's going to give you 11 plus wins and get you to the playoffs?
Right, that's what we're saying. Unless you're exactly.
Deshaun Watson couldn't do anything in Houston.
On, Wyatt, that's wrong. Deshaun Watson went to the playoffs last year.
Yeah, twice.
What did they do in the playoffs?
3 years in a row. They lost.
What did they do in the playoffs?
Chiefs and Colts.
They lost. All right, but it's a different situation.
He hasn't won a playoff game either. But nobody's grilling Deshaun Watson about it
because
they only grill Lamar.
Situation. He's not in the same situation with a Bill O'Brien running things. When
Deshaun Watson went to the playoffs. When Deshaun Watson went to the playoffs, he had a better team than Lamar, 100%. He had better weapons. He had a better
team,
and he had horrible play calling.
He faced
the play calling by Bill O'Brien
Lamar
was
faced
atrocious.
The Bills.
What?
Lamar faced the Bills. He played a great team. He played a dynamic offense with an incredible. Who did he lose to the previous year? It was the Tennessee Titans, who went to the AFC Championship and almost went to the Super Bowl.
They didn't almost. They got.
They had a big lead on KC. If KC wasn't a comeback team, well, that's true. If KC, but that's what I'm saying. If KC wasn't that comeback team,
if grasshoppers had boxing gloves, butterflies wouldn't mess with them. So I don't know what you're talking about here.
What are you talking about?
You keep saying if. We could say if all day. We could say if all day.
I'm just saying.
If that.
Deshaun, I'm not hating on Deshaun either. I think Deshaun's a great quarterback, and I think Deshaun is going to win a Super Bowl before he retires, maybe even 2. I'm not 100% sure on that. But here's what I'm saying. Everybody's grilling Lamar and saying he doesn't deserve this long-term deal. Oh, because he can't win in the playoffs. He can't do this. He can't do that. But we've looked, and Deshaun Watson's had better teams, and Deshaun Watson can't do anything. Exactly. Jacob Eason for MVP. That's what I'm saying here. I'm just kidding. But, I mean, look at Deshaun's team.
Eason is going to be the best quarterback out of that class. Tell me I'm wrong.
Stop it.
You're wrong. You're way wrong. Jacob Eason is that guy.
Situation.
Jacob Eason had so much hype around him going into college. Like, he signed, where was that? I want to say it was I think it was Washington State as like a ninth grader. And then he decommits, goes to Washington. Everybody's like, this kid is the savior of Washington football. He's going to turn this all around. And what did he do? He pooped himself. He wet the bed. He didn't do anything.
Yeah,
and that's the same thing.
What did Aaron Rodgers do in college?
Wasn't Patty Mahomes 13 and
Aaron
16 at Texas Tech? Wasn't Patty Mahomes 13 and 16 at Texas Tech?
Yes, he was.
I mean,
yeah.
Yes, he was. So, I mean, and that's Patty Mahomes.
So Combs, are you saying that Jacob Eason is going to be ridiculous?
No. I'm not saying that he's going to be ridiculous, but I'm just
saying
that's what you're
arguing.
What did he do
here?
in college? Because what did Patty Mahomes do in college?
Well, Patty Mahomes was a completely different story. Patty Mahomes played at Texas Tech. Patty Mahomes didn't have the weapons that
Jacob Eason played at Washington. Who the hell is Washington?
They're a Pac-12 team.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I believe if Washington wouldn't have lost to was it
Washington made the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
With who?
They're a good team.
With who as their quarterback?
Jacob Eason.
Okay, then.
What did he do?
What
but what did he do when he got there? He wet the bed.
Okay.
Okay,
But
so does Notre Dame.
You guys
every
understand
year.
that Jacob Eason is in the best situation out of all those quarterbacks. Joe Burrow, Herbert, everybody. He is in the best situation. He got a chance to sit behind Phillip Rivers all year. He is going to get a chance to sit behind.
He's
Matthew
also going to get
Stafford for a couple years.
Justin Herbert is in the best situation of all.
Or he's
going to
get a chance to get traded after Deshaun Watson goes to the.
Deshaun Watson is
If they
going to go
can-
to the Colts.
If they can get Matt Stafford's one of the Colts. That's a done deal. I can promise you that right now.
I hear right now that the Patriots are the front runners for Matthew Stafford. That's everything I've heard all day.
I think Deshaun Watson has a better. I think that the Patriots take a quarterback in the first round of the draft, which is a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge at Monday, mock draft Monday. But anyways, I'm just telling you guys, okay. Look at his roster. Look at what he had, and he hasn't won in the playoffs. He hasn't done anything. And like I said, I'm not hating on Deshaun. I love Deshaun. I love his game. But I'm saying if you're going to give Deshaun this look, Deshaun deserves this Supermax contract, then Lamar deserves one too. Lamar has been more successful than Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson has seen better teams. Deshaun Watson had a good defense. They brought in Laramie Tunsil, so he had a better offensive line, which ended up being a good offensive line. He had DeAndre freaking Hopkins, at the time the best receiver in the league. He was insane. Then he had Will Fuller backing that up.
Play calling, no run game, no. I'm telling you right now, Bill
and Lamar hasn't had any weapons though.
Stopped that team from doing so much more than what they were capable of doing. That Houston Texans team was really, really, really talented, and Bill O'Brien destroyed it.
So he did. Absolutely.
Why I will give you that Lamar Jackson hasn't had any threats on the outside, but could he even get the balls to those threats because his passing game is so horrible, though?
Yes, eventually. If Lamar Jackson had a weapon, his passing game will develop. I promise you that. I would put $100 down on that right now.
I think you're right. I think that if you give him weapons, if you put him in a scheme like if you put him in Patty Mahomes in Kansas City, I think that they are still the same team. I think that they still win. Even though Patty Mahomes is special, I think Lamar Jackson is special too. He just doesn't have any weapons for him whatsoever. So I would be interested to see
than Lamar Jackson is.
I would be interested to see what Lamar Jackson can do with a couple of weapons, but
Buck.
What?
I love
what did
you,
he say?
man,
I
but
missed it.
He said Chad Henne is better than Lamar.
At Kansas City.
I mean, Chad Henne did convert the 4th and 1.
Oh my God!
You know who didn't convert? Aaron Rodgers.
You know who didn't even
Just
make it to
saying.
see the NFC Championship?
Just saying.
The Bears.
Just saying. Yeah, okay, congratulations. A team that you said was the worst 5-0 team ever, and you're going to compare your Packers.
I was right,
to that?
wasn't
okay,
I?
Cool.
I was right,
Compare
wasn't
your
I?
Packers to that. Yeah, they suck.
I'm just saying. At the time,
guys,
I said it's the worst 5-0 team ever.
We have been
God, so
focusing on Deshaun Watson a lot here, and we have said some teams that he would be a good fit at, but he has officially said that he wants to be traded from the Houston Texans. So, Wyatt, where do you see Deshaun Watson playing in the 2021 season?
Miami. I see him at Miami. That's his front runner right now. His number 1 is Miami. He wants to go there, and his number 2 is the Jets. I think the Jets is a terrible option for him. I think Saul is not going to be a bad coach there. I think that he'll turn stuff around a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's the same issue that the Cleveland Browns have always had. No matter how much talent you stack on that roster, no matter how much talent you have built around it, no matter how good the coaching, no matter how good the ownership, no matter how good the defense, offense, whatever you want to say, they will always be the Cleveland Browns, and the New York Jets will always be the New York Jets. They will always find some way to be dysfunctional and screw it up in some way. Ever since Joe Namath was there, once Joe Namath left, it was like what hit the fan. It's gone. It's over. Everything was off. So I think he goes to Miami, where there are weapons around him. Miami is a team that previously in history we've seen can win. I mean, they have the greatest football season ever. The only team to ever win out and win a Super Bowl.
45 years ago, like 95 years before you were born.
They were 12-0, right? Jeez.
14-0.
Yeah.
Before they hit the playoffs.
The best spot for Deshaun Watson is Indianapolis. And I say it all the time. I know people keep saying Matthew Stafford's going to Indy, but I said, like I said it before, Indy is the landing spot for any quarterback that is available right now. That is the best landing spot for any quarterback available right now. Deshaun Watson makes them, I don't know how much better than Jacob Eason will, or Matthew Stafford, or any of these guys.
Matt Nagy's back. Hey, Matt.
Yeah, you and Ryan Pace can go to hell. Anyway,
I don't even know who that is, but thank you, whoever it is.
It's Matt Nagy.
I think, Matt Nagy joins the show. He can stop watching anytime now. And maybe you could go study a playbook and learn how to freaking call plays for your team. Maybe go get a quarterback for us. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, getting Deshaun. Don't worry. Yeah, you're not getting Deshaun Watson. You know why? Because you already passed on him, you clown. Well, you didn't, but Ryan Pace did, and he's a clown too. And the only reason he's there is because of you. Anyway, I can't. But no,
Indiana gets better every single time.
Indianapolis is the best spot for Deshaun Watson. And if it's not Indianapolis, then there are so many places that he could land. Chicago's another one that would he would make them so much better. But
so. Yes, Indy is a great spot for any veteran quarterback to land because they are a quarterback away. They are a great quarterback away.
Right.
So with watching these like these names like Deshaun Watson is putting out there, like the Miami and like the Jets, I think he wants to go to a team and build. So why not go to Jacksonville? They have plenty of cap space.
No.
They have 11 draft picks this year, and I think there are some free agent receivers out there that if Deshaun Watson goes to Jacksonville, they will come along with him. Juju, Galladay,
I'm about to
Allen
give you
Robinson.
the Adam Gase.
Allen Robinson is not coming back to Jacksonville. I can promise you that. He does not want to be back there.
Why?
And they've already got their guy. They got the number 1 overall pick. That was the thing this year. Tank for Trevor. That's what all these teams did.
I don't think
Trevor Lawrence does not make you better than Deshaun Watson does.
Why?
Trevor Lawrence does not make you better than Deshaun Watson does.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because for one, Deshaun Watson's proven he can do it in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence hasn't done anything except prove that he can lose big games in college football.
Much like Notre Dame.
There is nothing about Trevor Lawrence that makes you a better team than Deshaun Watson does.
Watson only won one natty. Trevor Lawrence only won one natty. They're the same player.
Yeah, but
they're not the.
They were in the same. They were in the same system.
They're not.
Trevor Lawrence is a better athlete.
No, he's not. Stop.
Yes, he is.
Get the. I'm done. Look, put the young into bed. Mom, come get Wyatt. Ma, where you at? It's time for bed.
The meatloaf.
You guys have to admit, though, Deshaun Watson to Jacksonville with the 11 picks and all that cap.
They're not going to have the 11 picks. That's why that Miami's going to get him because Miami has more assets. The Colts don't have the assets.
The Jets have the most assets.
The Jets have the assets, but nobody wants to give up all those picks. Because why would
11 to give up?
but then that's all you have. Okay, does Deshaun Watson right now does he turn everything around?
If you're a GM in the NFL and you have a chance to go get Deshaun Watson, and I've said this before, I love the Bears. I love Khalil Mack. If I'm the Bears, I'm giving you 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and Khalil Mack. You give that much up for Deshaun Watson.
No quarterback is worth that.
Patrick Mahomes is worth that.
Deshaun Watson is.
Patrick Mahomes is worth that.
Patty Mahomes too.
Do you guys understand that 3 first-round picks is franchise changing? If this fails, let's say Watson gets hurt and you don't have a first-round pick for the next 3 years,
then why are you saying they got to give up 11 picks in Jacksonville when they don't have any assets?
I'm saying they have 11 picks. So meaning they have room to give you 4, 5, 6 picks for that draft. Now they won't all be number 1 picks by any means, but they can literally give you half of their picks and still have more picks than the Houston Texans.
Okay, let's say that Jacksonville gives up all their first rounders and all their second rounders, okay? And they get Deshaun Watson. What's their record next year?
Because I think Watson is a type of quarterback that receivers will flock to. Juju, Galladay, Allen Robinson. I think they are.
Okay, let's say he gets one of those guys too. Let's say he brings in Juju. And it's Deshaun Watson. and that's it. That's all they can afford because that's 2 huge deals. That's all your cap space pretty much.
Right.
So and they don't have any picks. So what's their record?
They are 9-7.
With Trevor Lawrence and all those picks and all those assets they bring in,
12.
they will go 10. They would at worst be 10-6 if this
You are
works.
out of your Wyatt. I'm done. Shut. Wyatt, let me.
I love Trevor Lawrence, man.
Deshaun Watson. Like I don't understand. What about Trevor Lawrence makes you think he's better than Deshaun Watson right now?
I think he's an incredible. I think.
All right, Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Quack.